Okay, this is the final phase of the sea cucumber tray situation. This is dropping the whole thing back into the water. You don't need any winch power for this. If we zoom down the bay there, that vessel is the MV U-Chuck. Oldest working wooden vessel. There's probably other video of it on my site, I'm sure. Beautiful old wooden boat, delivers our feed. Not today, but delivers our feed. Also the AG Ford, which is another one of their boats. But generally it's the U-Chuck. You can actually get a tour all the way up this coast as they deliver feed and supplies to remote locations. And that is the MV U-Chuck, U-C-H-U-C-K, and they're in Gold River, BC, British Columbia, Canada. Really nice guy, the skipper Fred, and beautiful, beautiful old vessel. Okay, back to what we're up to. What we're doing now with the sea cucumber experimental trays is we're dropping them back in. So we've taken them off our hooks here, and the hooks are free, and so now the whole thing is suspended back on its lowering lines and ready to be lowered back into the water using the capstan down on the boat, which is a distance of over 75 feet away, because we're dropping the cages to 70 feet. So the cages at first drop down onto the main line, and all the weight goes down to 50 feet on the main line, at which point this line here starts taking some of the weight, and this line is actually a little bit longer and is suspended approximately 10 to 15 feet inside the cage system, at least 10 feet, 15 feet away from the edge of the cage, such that the experimental trays swing down, the weight comes onto the ropes that they suspend here. You can see a red one over there, and all the weight goes onto the cage from there, and so it swings and levels out about 15 feet below the bottom of the cage. Fairly simple, really. Running through these poles here for our blocks. These are old bird net poles actually, that we managed to grab from Terry Brooks, Sablefin, Canada, and got them painted up, and then used them so that we could lift and lower the cage, the tray system, and monitor the cucumbers. So I'll give Dave the signal and he'll start lowering. Okay, so really all he's doing is just easing it off the capstan down there. And away it goes. And rapidly you see it go out of sight, I think. So it goes straight down until it gets adjacent to the bottom line of the net. Actually just slightly below the bottom line of the net. At that point, the pressure starts coming off these ropes and starts transferring over to the rope that it eventually remains suspended by. You can see that rope here. So I'll try and pan back and okay. So as the tension comes and starts coming off those lines there, which is at the depth of the net, the bottom of the net, then the tension starts, because those lines are longer than these ones, the tension starts coming onto the rope that I'm holding in my hand, which will happen fairly soon, and we'll watch it happen here. And I won't be able to hold it. And I can feel it coming now, and I can feel it coming now, and ooh! Okay, so what's happening now is that whole tray system has reached the bottom of the pen and is now transferring, the weight's transferring to these lines. There's one this side of the net, and obviously one on the other side of the net. And as you can see, slowly that's swinging into place. Now that will swing to 15 feet underneath the cage, and because it was at the bottom of the cage level when the weight transferred to these lines, it doesn't come anywhere near while it's swinging underneath the cage to the net at all. And I can tell you that because I've watched it diving. So that's basically how we raise and lower our experimental tray system, sea tray system, for studying the growth rates, the uptake of feces, the survival rate, mortality rate, etc. of sea cucumbers. Idea being that they will eat, if you could get enough of them, they would eat the vast majority of the feces generated by a cage of fish, and in this cage we have 12,000 blackcod, and eat that poop, that nutrient, grow, which it appears from our measurements, although Dave and I aren't the scientists, that they grow quite well. They look a lot healthier than the controls that we showed you earlier. So they seem to be growing well. We had very little mortality, a few escapes. Definitely had nothing else to eat other than blackcod nutrients. Let's put it that way. And yeah, it could be a very promising thing for aquaculture in general, which is of course the whole idea of integrated multi-trophic aquaculture. So this is the integrated multi-trophic site in Kayukit, BC. We've been here for 3 years, a little over, and we have currently cucumbers, blackcod, scallops over in that system. There's an urchin and mussel co-culture study going over there, as well as the black floats way over the end there have a bunch of kelp on them, which are designed to pick up the nitrates. The flow in the farm generally, thanks to current meter studies done by Dr. Steve Cross, Aquametrics Research, who is the overall concept of this idea, IMTA, is Dr. Steve Cross. Also has Aquametrics Research, and so the current in this farm goes generally through the pens this way, out through the scallops, through the kelp suspended at 5 meters, and then moves around in the bay and next gets back out. It's a farmhouse over there. An old feed shed that we modified into a house, and a workshop. So I don't know if I can get this sign. Oh, I forgot you could turn this camera around. That makes it way easier. Okay. Kayukit Seafoods. Multi-Trophic aquaculture site. And hey, I'm Rusty Smith. Beautiful place to work, very interesting concept. It's been a lot of work getting it to this point, but yeah, integrated multi-trophic aquaculture. That's Dave McCurgan over there. We'll catch you next time.